In 1963, Alpine Power Systems was started by Harvey Rosenberg in Detroit, Michigan. Alpine started off selling and servicing automotive batteries. As electric forklifts became more popular throughout the 1960s and 70s, Harvey began offering forklift battery products and services. This was the beginning of Alpine's motive power division. Alpine was a reseller of Gould National Battery, which later became G&B and is now Stryten Energy. Stryten Energy is Alpine's longest vendor partnership, as they have worked together throughout their entire 60-year history. Alpine's first facility was located in Dearborn, Michigan, where they serviced batteries for customers that included the likes of Ford and Chrysler. As you can see, these pictures were taken before the creation of OSHA, hence the cigar smoking. Long before Elon Musk was running Tesla, Alpine had been at the forefront of the EV market. In 1977, Alpine was tasked by General Motors to create electric buses for their Oldsmobile plant in Lansing, Michigan. These electric buses were used to take employees to and from the plant. Ed Hirschberg, Bob Linetti, and Harry Centella, three successful businessmen that worked together at the international conglomerate, Gulf and Western, were looking for future businesses to invest in. The three formed together to purchase a forging company named Taylor Forge International in 1986, which later became the parent company of Alpine TFI Incorporated. Taylor Forge was a manufacturer of very large steel rings and flanges for industrial applications. One of their claims to fame was contributing flanges that were used in the construction of the Alaskan oil pipeline. Taylor Forge also produced parts for the U.S. military's nuclear submarine program. Taylor Forge was operated on a 35-acre property within a 200,000 square foot facility in Memphis, Tennessee. The building is still present today and sits next to a building that later became Alpine's Memphis operation, but more on that later. Alpine's current president, Paul Hirschberg, worked on the floor of the foundry at the beginning of his career and asserts this was one of the toughest jobs he'd ever had. The three owners of TFI were looking to diversify into different businesses to grow their portfolio. The first company they founded after the forging business was Hot Shot Sports Bar, located in Memphis, Tennessee. The bar was a mainstay for celebrities and athletes in the area, including the likes of John Daly and others. The bar was managed by Jessica Snyder, the daughter of Bob Leonetti. TFI's ownership also had aspirations of getting into an industrial B2B service business. This is when they stumbled upon Alpine Battery in Detroit, Michigan, and the rest is history. TFI Incorporated purchased Alpine Battery in 1988, and Harvey Rosenberg stayed on as the head of sales. Harvey is still supporting the business today. The ownership was focused on growing the battery business to other markets around the United States, and this catapulted a series of acquisitions to further support this goal. Alpine's innovative battery recycling programs were finally getting some recognition. In 1989, Harvey Rosenberg was interviewed by Ford Motor Company's internal media team on their industry-leading cradle-to-grave recycling solutions. TFI's first acquisition after purchasing Alpine Battery was West Michigan Battery in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was founded by Dennis O'Connell. This acquisition helped Alpine have a better reach throughout the entire state of Michigan. Dennis continued to manage the West Michigan branch of Alpine up until he retired in the mid-2010s. Dennis's sister, Janet, is still an associate of Alpine's Grand Rapids office after an astonishing 33 years. Harvey Rosenberg, Dennis O'Connell, and Paul Hirschberg have a tradition of going on an annual fishing trip that has lasted over 3 decades and counting. As the owners of Alpine were looking to continue to grow the company around the country, they looked to a market they had some familiarity with, Memphis, Tennessee. As Taylor Forge continued to operate in Memphis, it seemed like the perfect place to set up shop for the battery business. Paul Hirschberg left his role at Taylor Forge to open an Alpine office on the same property. Paul hired an Alpine Hall of Famer by the name of Mike Traylor. Del Sanders joined the team soon after. 1992 brought the emergence of the Critical Power Division. This was brought about after Alpine's owners wanted to further diversify, an ongoing theme that is consistent throughout the history of the company. In 1994, Alpine opened their first standalone critical power office in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This branch was managed by Alpine veteran Brenda Fellows. Acquisitions of Systems by Design, Mid-Ohio Battery, Battery Max, Alpine Power Systems, and Delta Power Systems were made to grow Alpine's critical power and motive power presence throughout the Midwest. This contributed to new facilities in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. During this period, Alpine's own Natalie Isgut started selling critical power solutions to Vertiv, previously known as Emerson Liebert. Vertiv has since become one of Alpine's most important customers and partners. In 1999, Alpine took the material handling world by storm with the introduction of fast charging technology. With the help of PosiCharge, Alpine introduced this industry's first offering that allowed forklift batteries to be charged in short durations, which eliminated the need for battery changing. This form of charging was implemented at Ford Motor Company and was later adopted by the rest of the industry. Sean Davis, now the Executive Vice President of Sales at Alpine, was once the head of sales at PosiCharge and had directly worked with Alpine and helped make fast charging a reality. Alpine has since installed thousands of fast chargers globally, with large projects in countries such as India, Thailand, Mexico, US, Canada, and South Africa. Alpine made another series of acquisitions throughout the 2000s that helped establish them as the market leader they are today. The acquisition of Dytron Power in Chicago, Illinois, opened the door for Alpine to begin selling and servicing generators. The purchases of Battery Testing Inc. and Expo Power marked Alpine's expansion into the West Coast. Alpine also purchased the Intersys Critical Power sales and service operations in the Midwest and Southeast, which landed them with 2 additional locations in Orlando, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia. Alpine also opened locations in Nashville, Tennessee, Cleveland, Ohio, and Dallas, Texas. During this period of growth, Eric Light joined Alpine as CFO. 2005 marked the beginning of Alpine's Telecom division. They acquired Miller Eads' telecom business that helped give them the technical knowledge needed to help succeed in what was a fast-growing industry. Many of these talented team members are still with Alpine today. Brenda Fellows became the vice president of their telecom division and worked closely with other associates who were key to Alpine's success, including Ken Wright, Scott DeClaire, and Deanna Byers. Some of Alpine's early telecom customers included Detroit Cellular, Cincinnati Bell, Alltel, Cellular One, and others. Hurricane Katrina was an extremely powerful hurricane that caused enormous destruction and significant loss of life. Alpine stepped up during this difficult time in our nation's history to provide support for the frontline workers after this hurricane hit. Alpine's critical power service team rushed into action to provide temporary power solutions and generator fueling so that other first responders could save lives. This natural disaster was the first of many hurricanes that Alpine went on to provide disaster services for. Now, Alpine provides preparation and recovery services for all types of natural disasters. Alpine became ISO 9001 quality certified for the first time in the company's history in 2007. Their quality standard demonstrates their passion for quality assurance. With the help of Donna Prawl, Alpine later went on to earn ISO certification for environmental systems, health, and safety. They now have more ISO certifications than any other independent solution provider in their respective industries. In 2011, Alpine created an entire division solely related to their products and services for the cable industry. Customers like Comcast, Charter, and Time Warner quickly became some of Alpine's largest national accounts. John Centella and John Vincent have been instrumental with the continued success of this division. In 2012, Alpine began doing installs of distributed antenna systems, also known as DAS, for the major U.S. mobile carriers. A DAS is typically utilized as a solution to deal with isolated spots of poor coverage inside large buildings by installing a network of small antennas. Alpine has installed DAS at some notable locations, including the University of Michigan, Michigan State University, Ford Field, Comerica Park, General Motors, the Boy Scouts headquarters, the City of Houston, and more. Alpine's motive power division has experienced tremendous growth over their most recent decade in business. In 2016, Alpine went to market with their very first in-house product offering, PowerMax Fleet. PowerMax Fleet has turned into one of their fastest-growing business segments. The success of this program has resulted in investments in multiple distribution hubs and a new dedicated motive power headquarters in Detroit, Michigan. The acquisitions of Stryton Energy Factory stores opened a new frontier for their motive power business within the states of Arkansas, Tennessee, and Texas. The purchasing of Batcom helped deepen Alpine's presence within the West Michigan market. In 2017, Alpine began offering lithium batteries for forklift applications led by Adam Cecil and Sean Davis. They have since gone on to become an industry leader in the emerging technology with the most experienced sales and service team nationwide. In Alpine's most recent years, the organization has continued to succeed, utilizing its same founding principle: continue to invest in the business and its people. Alpine was instrumental in supporting their nation throughout the pandemic, as all their divisions were deemed essential by the United States government. Alpine recently invested in the expansion of their Columbus, Ohio, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida facilities. Their Dallas, Texas team has moved to a new facility that is triple the size. An office was opened in Oregon to support a large data center customer, Amazon Web Services. Alpine's latest acquisitions included 2 Ohio-based companies, Evergreen Industrial Batteries and Battery Technologies, Inc. The Evergreen acquisition was made to help further fuel their industry-leading used and rental motive power business. Today, Alpine boasts 200-plus associates, 25 locations, and thousands of customers. The success and growth of Alpine over the years has exceeded the owners and founders' greatest expectations. They'd like to thank all their wonderful associates for helping reach this 60-year milestone. They look forward to continuing this journey with all of you into the future.